Good morning. My microphone's working again. Excellent. I did some tests and some settings. Glad to see that. Although I kind of liked the video without this thing on my head. Maybe I should get a little microphone that clips right here. Perhaps I should. Well, welcome to our ride. Let's sit up tall. Let's let our shoulders relax and our arms just hang to the side. Make sure that your resistance is very light and your legs are not moving really fast. See if you can feel your weight of the upper body and the vertebrae of the back. See if you can feel that. And then notice the pressure on your hips, which is that weight being transferred through the vertebrae into the hip bones and held up by the saddle. Perhaps you can let your belly relax a little bit. And we can notice right now how the hips move independently of the upper body. Decoupled. Let's come down to our handlebars. And let's bring our leg speed up a little bit. I'm just going to adjust my resistance a tiny bit. I had it really, really light. There. Now there's just a tiny bit of resistance. And I feel just the tiniest bit of work in the muscles of the legs now. Nothing really at all. All I'm trying to do now is feel the smoothness of the pedal stroke. And I'm checking my posture. I'm becoming aware of my posture. We don't like that word, checking. It's hard to find a different word, but becoming aware of my posture in order to make sure that I'm interfacing with the bike well. And as I pedal this light resistance and moderate pedal speed, I'm trying to notice how my hips continue to work independently of the upper body. I'm noticing the muscles as they engage at this low level. On a scale of exertion or effort, this is 1. Very easy. Just allowing the hips, the knees, the ankles, the lower back to warm up, loosen up a little bit. Let's bring our leg speed up now. Let's come up to about 90 RPM. If you don't have a computer, that's okay. You can match my leg speed. Doing my best to feel throughout the whole circle the pedal stroke. keeping your resistance really, really light. See if you can get your leg speed up to around 100. All the while staying smooth. All the while keeping the elbows slightly bent and the shoulders away from the ears. That'll help keep your hips nice and steady on the saddle. Let's slow our legs down now to 85 or 90 RPM.
The walls are closing in. Baby, where have you been?
Reach down. We're going to try to add the smallest possible resistance we can add
The only sound
and still feel it. And I really mean that. We don't want to add uncomfortable work into the muscles now. We just want to add the smallest bit of resistance that can be sensed in the muscles of the legs. It's a really good skill because we're practicing tuning into the muscles and noticing how they feel. When I say add in the smallest amount of resistance that you can feel, that's asking you to tune into your body. What's your breathing doing right now? I'm noticing mine's picking up. So we added a little bit of resistance. This 85 to 90 RPM feels a little more challenging than the previous one. We're going to come back up to 100 RPM again with this new level of resistance. And even though it's just a tiny amount, let's see if we can notice a difference between the last time we were at 100 RPM and this time. I'll count us down into it. In 3, in 2, in 1. Now take this resistance up to 100 RPM. And you can look at my hips, look at my upper body. You'll see that I'm still mostly decoupled. Hips are staying very steady on the saddle. And let's slow our legs way down. Leave your resistance where it is, but let's slow them way down now. It should still be quite light, right?
The only sound is your heartbeat and my love. No one said
Breath definitely elevated, heart rate definitely up. Legs feeling warm now. There's a sense of heat, warmth in the muscles of my legs now. My arms are long.
Silence take the night. Everything will be alright, my dear.
Jeez, it's funny. It's good. It's fine. Let's come back to our handlebars. Let's bring our leg speed into the 90 RPM range, and let's get a little resistance on now that feels like work. If you want to visualize being on a road, completely free of cars and stoplights, and we're moving down that road at exercise pace, not sprint, not lollygagging, just at a level that feels okay. This is exercise. That's how I feel right now. If it's comfortable for you, go ahead and close your eyes now, and let's become aware of what the upper body is doing. What's the neck doing as it is one with the rest of the spine? Is your neck aligned mostly with your spine now? Is your belly relaxed and released? We want to keep that belly relaxed and released when we're cycling. We don't need to hold it in. We want it to be able to expand as we breathe, and if we tighten up those abs, we effectively put a wall there. So let's release that belly. Let's keep our elbows and shoulders relaxed. What's your breath doing now? Mine's definitely picking up from this. See if you can visualize your muscles engaging through the whole circle now. Sense the different muscle groups in the different parts of the pedal stroke. Great opportunity to become aware of your thoughts, become aware of the grasping nature of the mind. It can be frustrating, I know, when you realize how much your mind is grasping at things. But just becoming aware of that is half the battle. I would say that most people are not even aware of the grasping nature of the mind, so we are at least starting to become aware of that. Okay, let's bring our resistance way down light. And slower legs. Sit up tall. Again, feel that weight in your spine. Feel that weight being transferred to the hips. Notice the saddle holding you. I can feel a little bit of sweat, and my legs are warm now. Let's start a 5-minute climb. And I want you to think about what your mind said when you heard me say the words, a 5-minute climb. What was your immediate thought? Doesn't matter what it was. Just be aware of it, whatever it is. Likely, it's like, oh boy, here we go. And me too, to some extent. Let's make this a very mindful climb. Ease in your resistance now so it feels like we're in the seated climbing position, and if you want to visualize a hill, visualize something like this now, something significant, so that, oops, how do I do this? Here, let's do this one. All right, so if we had a flat road with a hill, the hill looks pretty significant from the flat road. That's what I'm trying to show you. So we've entered into it now. We have a relatively slow cadence, at least 60. Better if it's 65 or 70 or even 75. But you find what feels comfortable to you for climbing. If you don't know what that is, experiment. The only thing we need to do here is get the resistance so it feels like we've entered a steep hill, and that steep hill makes us nervous, and it challenges the muscles, and it makes us wonder how long we could hold on to this. Feel free to put your hands to the middle of the handlebars in order to get your back a little more upright. Let's try to sense the lower back and the hips as they push over the top. You'll feel that through the heel of the foot, right before the quads kick in. If we're doing this right, the breath is definitely coming up now, and the legs feel discomfort. Because I told you it was 5 minutes, you're probably thinking about how much time has gone by, and I know that's natural. But what we best can do is just focus on every pedal stroke. Turn your attention to that as much as you can. Use the feeling in the muscles. I can feel sweat forming on my forehead now. Let's get ready to rise up out of the saddle. We'll make sure to add extremely heavy resistance as we do that so that it supports us as we stand out onto the pedals, bringing our body weight off the saddle out here over the pedals. That's why we stand. In 3, and 2, and 1. Add that heavy resistance in. Ease on top of the pedals. Let's stay here about 20 seconds. Come back to seated climbing by reducing the resistance. Try to keep your legs moving in spite of the discomfort now. And I'm going to observe as that discomfort starts to go away a little bit from the standing. 1, bring your resistance way down. Pedal lightly, grab some water, tune in to your breathing. That was 5 minutes. Now imagine that we were doing a 10-minute climb. We're only halfway done. How would you think about the next 5 minutes? Could you do it? How would it feel? I imagine you could do it. I imagine your thought is, yeah, I could do that. But I also bet that at the start, if I said we're climbing for 10 minutes, it would have felt much more challenging. Many more thoughts in our head. So breaking it up into small pieces can sometimes be useful. That's what I do on long climbs. I'll pick a point halfway up where I'll go, okay, let's shoot for that. And so that becomes my goal. I'm like, oh, I'm there. Okay, keep going. Let's come back to our handlebars. Let's bring our leg speed up. Let's add resistance to mimic flat road. Exercise zone. And notice how the muscles feel in your legs right now. They'll have a certain feeling from that climb. See if you can identify what it is. As always, practice awareness of your body and your posture. Hands, elbows, shoulders, spine, neck, belly. Now we're at 90 RPM. We're at exercise level. If we took a range of low level exercise, highest possible level, which would be sprinting, let's shoot for something in the middle at this 90 RPM. So get a resistance that is quite challenging to the muscles. It's not one that's so heavy that you're struggling to keep the rhythm right now, but it's heavy enough that you're already starting to feel a little bit of discomfort, and your heart rate and breathing are starting to pick up again. I want just a little bit of discomfort in the muscles of the legs right now. Together, let's tune into how that's affecting our breathing and heart rate. Or sweat. Sweat's kind of an indirect measure, though. You know, depending on the temperature and humidity of the room, you might sweat more or less. Heart rate and breathing, though, are very direct measures. Using this time right now to try to be aware of all the different parts of the pedal stroke. It might be useful for you to just simply focus on scraping mud off the ball of the foot. You might even want to put your hand on the hamstring. Feel that contraction as you pull through, just to cement that understanding. going to accelerate our legs up to 100 RPM. With this kind of resistance, 100 RPM is going to feel close to a sprint. If we have this continuum of effort, we're somewhere in the middle now between light exercise and full-out sprint. We're going to increase that level by increasing the pedal speed. To 100 or a little bit above. And then we'll tune in and see how that feels. Very short. Very short. In 3, 2, 1. Come up to 100 RPM. Remember to keep that upper body decoupled, hips steady. Let's bring our leg speed back down to 90 and see how that felt. Didn't feel like a full-out sprint to me. It felt like going quite hard, but not everything I got, which is perfect. You check in with how that felt with you and adjust your resistance now so that our next one feels right. Sweat's coming now. Are you ready? In 3, in 2, and 1. Come up to 100 RPM. Slow down to 90. You'll notice now after 2 of those, the legs are more tired than they were at the start. Therefore, this same resistance at 90 RPM that we had before probably feels harder. One more to go. Very sweaty now. Let's get into a beautiful position. Check your posture. Relax your belly. In 3, and 2, and 1. Come up to 100 again. And now for just about 20 seconds, come back down to 90, leaving the resistance the same. Stitch that full circle together. Stitch it mindfully together. And now bring your resistance all the way down to super light. With my microphone working today, you can hear my breathing, I'm sure. So you can compare your breathing to mine in order to gauge whether you're doing the level that I'm doing. Of course, the resistance will be different. Yours might be heavier than mine, yours might be lighter than mine. But the feeling, the effort will be the same. Judge that by how out of breath we are. which is a measure of how close our heart rate was to its maximum. Please do drink your water now. Even if you don't feel like you're thirsty, drink it up. That was nice. Let's do a couple of out of the saddle accelerations. So the situation will be we're moving along a flat road at 90 RPM. So bring in a little bit of resistance now, bring your leg speed up to 90 RPM. On that continuum of perceived exertion, let's say it's 1 to 10, we're at a 2 or 3. Maybe 3 or 4, depending on which scale you look at. Not super easy, not sprinting. Working our way with intention along a flat road. That's what we're doing right now. When I give you the signal, we're going to add resistance as if we shifted a couple of gears on our bike to a gear that's hard to pedal seated, and so we stand up with high RPM. And we can visualize our bikes accelerating. I mean, if we're right next to each other and you did that, you'd accelerate away from me. If I did that next to you, I'd accelerate away from you. So we're going to imagine the bike accelerating as we choose a harder gear and stand up on it to keep it turning. Let's do 2 of them. So we're at 85 to 90 RPM now at light, moderate exercise level. In 3, 2, 1. Add resistance, keep your leg speed up, and accelerate away. Bring it back down. Your leg speed should be about the same still. Process that. Let's get ready for our next one now. In 3, and 2, and 1. Add that resistance, keep your leg speed up, and visualize accelerating your bike away from me. And come back down to the low exercise level. Sharp discomfort in the muscles. So I want us to stay in exercise level now. I want us to go from that probably uncomfortable standing into maintaining steady state on the flat road here. Going to integrate that hard effort with this, blend them together. Noticing our heart rate is up high now. It should be. I'm starting to get those thoughts in my head like, I wonder how long I could do this. You should have those too. If you don't, add a little more resistance. If you are having a hard time to keep the 90 RPM, like your legs are slowing down, you have too much resistance in. Becomes this challenge. If we're at the right level of work right now, it becomes a mental challenge to just maintain. Physically, I know I could do this for a little while, but it's starting to become mentally difficult for me to stay with this. Take it down to very light resistance. And turn the legs very slowly. Let's allow our heart rate. Breathing, the muscles of our legs to recover now. We're into cool down. Just notice how our breathing is slowing and our heart rate is slowing. Let's just notice that. Notice, of course, that the muscles start to feel a little bit better in the legs too. Most importantly, we can notice how our mind is right now as the stress noticeably reduced. Think about your sense of self-efficacy, your ability to do something. You just gave yourself absolute proof that you could do something challenging and hard. So use that, build that, incorporate it into the wall. Brick. Let's let our legs slowly come down to a stop. Let's take a couple of deep breaths, feeling the belly expand as we do. And again. Now my sit bones are kind of tired from sitting a lot, so let's stand up. 3 and 9 o'clock with the feet and drop your heels. Feel a nice stretch in the legs. I mean the calves. And now switch legs, back foot to the front, and again drop your heels. Swing a leg over the bike. And now just grab an ankle and stretch the quadriceps. And now let's switch to the other. Stretch your hamstrings. Use the top bar of the bike or the handlebars or the saddle. Oh, leg is tight today. Switch to the other leg. All right, thank you for joining me today, and take some time, a couple minutes, a minute or two. Continue stretching and drinking your water and coming back to center. Good job.